everyone. How are you doing? Hello. This is your favorite Ruby Girl, Kay. And tonight is the Ruby Girl Talk with Michele D Clark. Hey, Michelle.
Howdy, howdy, hey, hey. How you doing,
How,
Kay?
I am doing fine. I am doing perfect. I am doing howdy, howdy, hey, 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 hey. I just love your spirit. You are such an awesome woman
Aw,
of God. You have such an awesome story of overcoming that I just had to have you on my show. I said, this needs to be shared. This energy, this enthusiasm that this woman has, the world needs to experience this. And your story needs to be out there because you're going to inspire somebody tonight. You're going to give somebody that's probably given up on life, think that what they're going through is impossible for them to be healed from, but you're going to tell them God is still a healer. So I am so excited to interview you tonight, Michelle. So, Michelle, before we get started, I want you to go on my page and share it to your page. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on my page and I'm going to make it public so that you can share it to your page. Okay.
awesome sauce. Yes.
So y'all, we getting our social media together, but I am so grateful once again for another Ruby Girl live show. When I tell you God is so good with the people that God has given me as guests, that I'm just overwhelmed by the goodness of God. All right, I made it public, so you should be able to share it with your people. So I'm gonna do a little commercial. Okay, y'all. Tonight, guess what? I'm giving away a Ruby Girl tumbler. Yes. I don't know if you can read the words. It's got phenomenal, beautiful, fabulous, and grateful on it. So I'm giving away a Ruby Girl tumbler. So in order to get the Ruby Girl tumbler, you have to go to Michelle's website. She's going to give it a little bit later because I'm going to do this again because I know nobody's yet on our live. But if you're watching a replay, sorry, the tumbler is gone. So that's one of the things I want to bless people with tonight is a free tumbler so you will remember this woman of God. And then guess who's the inventor of the bra wallet? Me. Yes. So I am the owner of his Designs LLC. My brand is Ruby Girl. So I invented the bra wallet. It's so easy. People were asking me this weekend, Michelle. I had a vendors event, and one
Mhm.
lady was like, "What is a bra wallet?" So it was kind of funny. So you just clip it to your shirt, put it in there, and it disappears. There you go.
Oh, wow.
Your credit cards, your ID are so secure. And you know what's great, Michelle? When you
Yes.
do your international speaking engagements,
Hmm.
have your bra wallet in here and you got to worry about your credit cards or nothing. So they come in these cute colors, red, and this is for my purple people. Now it comes in nylon and this is canvas. The little clip is very secure. I got people that's probably had them like 3 years. And so the last thing that I sell, you gotta get is the Ruby Girl t-shirt based on Proverbs 31 and 10. Who can find a virtuous woman for her price is far above the price of a ruby, and that makes you what? A priceless princess. So every Thursday is Ruby Girl Day. So you
Oh,
go to rubygirl.net on Thursdays and you get a 15% discount off your purchase. So
love it.
every Thursday is Ruby Girl Day, rubygirl.net. So we're ready to interview this phenomenal, beautiful, fabulous, and very grateful young lady. So Michelle,
Yes.
introduce yourself.
Yes, Kay. Thank you so much. So, yes, I am Michele D Clark with Lift Life Coaching Solutions, where we are living inspire free and transform. And I just, you know what? I just have a zest and a zeal for life, for love, for women. And I love to empower women. And that's what I do with my company, Lift Life Coaching Solutions. So if you need some lifting, whether it's business, personal, you've been through some adversities, and we're going to get into some of that tonight, y'all, then please feel free to give me a call and we will talk about that as well. But you can call me at 586-298-2121. But check out my website, see what we have to offer. And that website is www.liftlifecoachingsolutions.com.
Woo! I love it. So
Yes,
polished, so professional. You
thank
must have
you.
been on the Leadership Experience tour.
Why, I was. How did you
Girl,
know?
you speak. You know what? It's just that vibe I'm getting. Just Girl, sometimes I just know. So, Michelle, your
Yes.
enthusiasm for life is so contagious. Have you always had this attitude, or has the trials that you've been through influenced your attitude?
I'm going to choose C, all of the above. Because the thing is, Kay, that when I was growing up, I always just had a love for people. And so that just kind of bubbled up inside of me. And I was a people person from day one. And so then trekking through life, there were some sidewinding roads that I've gone through. And that just kind of helped to sharpen it because when you go through life threatening circumstances, it really helps you to focus on what's important.
Yes. I totally agree with you. I totally agree. It does help you focus even more. A lot of people go through, I know your story. They've been through
Yeah.
half, a quarter, a percent of what you've been through, and they're depressed for life. They feel like they can't go on because they stay focused on what happened to them instead of what
Yes.
is happening to them. So
Yes.
I believe you are more focused on what's coming towards you than what you done went through. And it shows, Michelle. It really shows. It's different when you talk about the goodness of the Lord, and it shows and it
Yes.
glows from you, and it truly does. Now, you was a speaker
Yes.
on the Sean Fair Leadership Tour. You shared
Yes.
your story of abuse. Now, could you share some of your story with us?
Yep, absolutely. I had the opportunity. Thank you so much, Sean Fair, for providing me with that opportunity to partake of the Leadership Experience Tour in the April group, April 2021. And I also want to just detour real quick and thank you so much, Pastor Corey Chavis, for introducing me to Mr. Sean Fair. So thank you all both for that.
Mhm.
And so I did talk about my journey that basically I made one bad decision and it just took me down a rabbit hole and changed the whole trajectory of my life, Kay.
Mhm.
And that bad decision was the fact that I went to a young man's house. I was 14 years old and he was 19 years old. And he was a friend of a friend. And we were hanging out and he invited me to his bedroom. And I went in there. I lit, and I promise you all, I did not suspect that we were going to even fool around because we were just friends. And
Mhm.
we went in there. Not only did we fool around, but he stole my virginity. I told him no, and I pushed him off. I tried to push him off me, and he would not get off. And then I just froze. They talk about fight, flight, or freeze.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I was the freeze, and I just froze. And then he inserted his penis into my vagina, and all I remember is I hearing the jingle of his belt buckle as he was
Mhm.
done. Yeah, and with that, it took me from who I knew I was to this person that my mother stated that she couldn't even recognize anymore. Yeah, it was a lot. Okay.
That was a lot.
Hmm.
I understand. I understand the. Sorry, we getting feedback. I don't know if it's me. I understand. When you have trauma, you
Yes.
can remember everything of that moment, and the fact that you remember his belt buckle
Hmm.
giggling, you kind of brought us into the scene. It felt like we was right there in the room with you and can see everything personally for me that happened. And
Hmm.
Michelle, I'm so sorry that this had to happen to you. And what happened a lot of times is we blame ourselves. And
Yes.
you always be like, I should have went A, I should
Yep.
have went B, I should have went C. But what I come to realize, God knows that sometimes we make decisions that change our whole life, but
Yes.
he has a course for us, and he's like, okay, we're still going this way. So you said it changed you. Did it make you fearful or men? How did it change you?
Yep, and I just want to take a couple of paces back and say that everybody's traumatic response and everybody's traumatic recall is different. And actually there are portions of it now that I cannot recall
Mm.
because what happens is sometimes when the brain is traumatized, it tries to protect us from that trauma. So it may hide some things from us that therapy or life coaching can help, mentoring can help to bring out. And so that way we can put it on the table and deal with it. So that was my response. So there were certain things that I remember crystal clear, and that was one of them. So I just kind of wanted to say that part of it. But thanks so much for emphasizing the part about the memory because there are some people who have experienced trauma who
Yes.
at the age of 3 can remember details. And most of us don't have recall of our childhood past 4, like 4 or 5 and up. So it can definitely, trauma can definitely severely impact the brain in multiple different ways that we can't even wrap our minds around now. Absolutely. But to answer your question, what had changed about me is, so I had this concept, Kay, that when I, grew up, I was going to get married. I was going to be able to wear the white dress for real, secure. And I was going to have the picket fence, the 2.5 kids, all that kind of stuff, and just go along with the statistics. So I really thought I was going to walk down that aisle wearing that white dress. But when and that's because of my upbringing. My parents, very old school, they waited till they got married. They were well into their 30s before they had their first child. And I was the third out of the batch of 4. And so they raised us up to wait before you have sex to get married. And so when that happened, my whole concept was just, I was put in a tailspin, Kay, and I didn't know what to do.
Yes.
I started to feel as if I wasn't lovable. I felt tainted and dirty and nasty and disgusting. And to be honest with you, I felt like a slut. I felt like a slut. And that was just with the first time. And so, with that, when people have their whole paradigm shifted, and it's not because of an aha moment, but because of something that was taken away, I felt like my whole identity was taken away from me, Kay. I didn't know who I was, and I began to act like I didn't know who I was. And not only that, I forgot whose I was, and I began to behave that way as well. I didn't think that I was redeemable. And so, with that, I began to engage in sexual behaviors that were not indicative of how I was brought up. I started having one night stands. I started um, allowing guys to treat me in ways that I knew was not the right way. There was no love involved anymore. It just was wham bam, thank you, ma'am. And unfortunately, I was that ma'am. And a lot of the men, they didn't even stay past the time the cheeks dried.
Oh
It was, and the thing about it, Kay, is that the more I acted out, the more I hated myself. And the more I hated myself, the more I acted out. And so it was this vicious cycle that I call a cyclone. And I didn't know how to get out of it. It was just spinning and spinning. And I was just in that vortex and didn't know how to get out of it. But there are some things that got out of it, but I'm not sure we're ready to go to that part yet. Okay.
wow.
Y'all just got to stay tuned a little bit longer.
Oh wow. So I understand your story. Let me
Yes.
see. Maybe I'm up a little bit too high. Okay. So I understand what you said about, sleeping around, because I think
Yes.
I know what happens when your virginity is just taken from you. It's like there was a boundary that you put up and that
Yes.
person just went right over it. And
Yes.
so now that boundary is down. And so you think the only thing you have to offer a person is your body,
That's
because
it.
this person just they don't just take, they have a few minutes of pleasure, but they take more than that from the victim. I mean,
Yes.
they deposit into us a
Yes.
lifetime of struggle,
Right.
low self-esteem, not caring, just being with anybody and anything. And then people look at the girl that slept with the whole football team and wonder what's wrong with her, because
Yes.
somewhere somebody crossed that boundary, tore
Right.
her boundary down.
Yes. Exactly
And
so.
so it's sad that this happens, but the thing is, you have to just pick yourself up and just keep going. And with you, you just kept going. And like you said, all your dreams died on that day. There's no putting back your virginity. It's like you break a vase, no matter how you put it back, glue it together, it still cracks there.
Yes.
It still cracks. So that's what I love about you. You have made it your mission to lift up other people,
Yes.
that's been through trauma. And you're right, at 3, if you've been through trauma, you can remember everything. Because personally, I went through trauma at 3, and I remember every single thing that a
Wow.
3-year-old shouldn't even remember. Girl, I don't remember what I had on yesterday, but
See
I
what I'm
can
saying?
tell you detail by detail being 3.
Yes.
So you ended up getting married. So tell us about your
Yes.
marriage.
Yes. So, okay, I'm thinking to myself, okay, I finally found my Prince Charming. Hey, I'm
Yay.
married now. Right. And I'm thinking, okay, all my worries are over. But I'm going to tell you something. God actually showed me who he was, and I didn't believe him. And I know Maya Angelou always says that If somebody tells you who they are, believe them. If they show you who they are, you better believe them. And
Yes.
I didn't believe it. And so I'm going to tell you how the marriage unfolded. So we got married, and we knew each other a total of 5 months when we were walking down the aisle. So we
Mhm.
met 5 months later, boom, we're married. We thought it was like love at close to first sight. And we had a lot in common. I loved how his family was, family oriented, and we just meshed. And so as things got difficult, so we had a very difficult first child birth. I had a condition called vasa previa with velamentous cord insertion, which basically means that the cord running between me and my son was fragile and the myelin sheath did not develop, and it was low lying across my cervix. So I had to be placed on bed rest. So that puts a lot of strain and stress because I was on bed rest from 3 months pregnant.
Oh wow.
Yes. And so after he was born premature and he was actually clinically dead for 11 minutes. It took them 11 minutes to revive him. So as a result of that, he had cerebral palsy. And yes, and they said he would make it out of the hospital. But God, I got to tell the testimony in the test. He's going to be 17 years old in December. So that's a praise moment right there.
Yes. Amen.
So, but with that, there's a lot of strain and stress that goes on. And we started to have a combative verbally relationship. And then it escalated to physical assault. And I know I recall one scenario where I basically told him that because we had different parenting styles. And I told him I didn't agree with his parenting style and that he was going to deal with me if he didn't get himself together. And that particular day, honey, I'm telling you, would thought you was watching What's Love Got to Do with It, because it was almost like the scene from when they was in the limousine.
Yes.
Okay, you all. Some people might say, "Oh my, I can't believe she left." Sometimes you have to laugh at a situation, especially when you're so far removed from it. Then you can laugh at it. At the time, oh no, I didn't think it was funny at all. It was very serious, and I don't laugh at sexual abuse, sexual assault, physical assault, emotional. I don't laugh at any of those things. All I'm saying is that in that moment, now I can find the comedy behind it, if you will, because right behind comedy is tragedy. So at any rate, it was very difficult, and that wasn't even the worst of it. Okay, the worst of it was when we got into a argument that escalated to physical, and I had to yell out to my daughter, who was 6 years old at the time. I had to yell out to her to dial 911 to save me.
Mm,
That's when I knew something's got to give, something's got to change.
wow. So at the end of your marriage, you ended up in legal trouble. What happened?
Ooh, I got to sip on this one.
A little bit more tea.
Mm-hmm. A
Add
little more
water
tea,
to the
hunty.
tea because you spilling it.
We feeling it all, honey. So what ended up happening is um I called the police. I ended up getting away from him and I called the police. Well, he also called the police. And unbeknownst to me, when the police arrived, we settled it or whatever. He decided he was going to leave. Well, when he left, he decided to file charges against me and say that I was the aggressor.
Oh,
So some days later, I get some cops showing up at my job. And I'm thinking they're coming to see if I want to press charges against him. No, they said, "Oh no, no, we coming to arrest you."
God.
Yes, and I was arrested from my job, and I had to spend the night in the county, and then I had to spend almost 5 grand on legal fees for criminal defense, and I was found not guilty. The judge saw fit and she saw straight through, and praise the Lord, I'm here to witness and testify to the goodness of God that places people in the right places for me. So I'm now here, I'm able to share that testimony. And this is the first time that I've shared this testimony on any of the podcast shows, interviews that I've done. So you have an exclusive.
Exclusive. But I'm gonna ask you this,
Mhm.
and I hear a lot of women say this. They come, that first might have a great marriage. All you hear,
Yes,
God did it, God put us together, and then when it's over, they come back and say, I saw some signs. So, what are
yes,
some of the signs that you saw that you ignored?
absolutely. Before we got married, we took a trip. It was a business trip because we were both in the same business. We took a business trip to Oklahoma, and we had gotten into a disagreement. And he raised his hand to me, and I had never encountered that kind of aggression from a man. Now I've been in other relationships, like I said, when I was a teenager, I ran into some scoundrels, but I never, not ever someone who I care deeply about ever raised their hand to me. Not even, I mean, my daddy ain't never raised his hand to me. So I'm looking at him like, you know how you get that look like, I know you won't. I wish you would. And I gave him that look. He put his hand down. I never, ever, ever thought in my wildest dreams that he would ever do that, because from that point, things seemed like it was back on an even keel. You know, we were able to connect again and have share love between us. And so I never thought that it would escalate to that. But that was a foreshadowing. Like I said, God showed me who he was, and I just foo-fooed it because I was a foo-fool in love.
You and your words.
I'm keeping it real.
I think we all been a fool for love. And you know what?
Mhm.
I think as women, I've heard God tell me some things about a man, but I think in my mind, he just want me to pray for them, but still be with them. But it's really him saying, this is what this man is about. You
Yes.
pray and you go. A red flag means stop. We
Yes.
think he holding up yellow flags like
Mhm.
caution,
No.
but proceed. He's holding up red flags. If we
Mhm.
Look, if we drove like we heated relationship flags, girl, we be in accidents every single day.
Every single day. AAA, they
Oh,
don't have enough cars, enough tow trucks.
okay. So we're going to take a 60-second break. Now, while we take this break, I don't want y'all to go anywhere because Michelle is going to be talking to you. She has a special offer for you. And then I want you to hang around because when we come back, we're going to talk about now, she went through a bad marriage. She lost her virginity through rape. But y'all haven't heard anything yet what she's going to say on this second part. So, Michelle, you got 60 seconds to blow our minds.
Oh, well, absolutely. Yes, I can do that very easily. Well, first of all, thank you all so much for tuning in to Ruby Girl Talk. It is super fantastic, and I'm excited to be here. And if you all want to get more of the tea, then you definitely will want to get Hush, Breaking the Cycle of Silence around sexual abuse. In here, not just myself, but eight including myself, women, we have disclosed some things about our lives so that other women can heal. So thank you so much, Tanisha Johnson, who is on XM Radio right now. Thank you so much for being our visionary author. In addition to that, uh, I know that when people have gone through traumatic situations, it's difficult to recover. And so, with my company, Lift Life Coaching Solutions, we have a 6-week course where we are helping women to change their belief system, get rid of that BS that we've been dealing with. And it's called our belief restructuring system. And so, if you text me right now at 586 298 2121, and the code word is Ruby Girl, then you will get a discount on our program. So text me again, 586-298-2121, and the text word is Ruby Girl, and you will get a discount on our 6-week program where we are going to help you to get through the junk, get through the BS. And BS stands for belief system. So we're going to help you to restructure that.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So give them the number again because some people might have been, we don't keep pens now. We
Yeah,
just
I
type in
know
stuff.
that's right. Yes. So, and as a matter of fact, how about we do this? How
Okay.
about you go ahead and pull your phones out right now? Pull your phone out, put the number in,
Okay.
put it
I
on the
got
table
mine.
right now.
I'm
Right
going to
now.
put it in the comment
There
section.
you go. 586
Okay. Hold on one minute.
298.
I type slow.
That's
586. No, I'm
okay.
kidding. 586
298
298
2121. And
2121.
text me, Ruby Girl,
Okay.
and you will get a discount on our program. If you would like to have more information, you can also email me. You can email me at clarkmd at liftlifecoachingsolutions.com. That's
Okay.
Lift, well, Clark MD at liftlifecoachingsolutions.com. I look forward to hearing from you because I definitely want to connect with you and help you to get rid of your BS and restructure your belief system.
I like it. I love it. I love it. So yeah, y'all, let's get it together for
So,
2021. Let's shed all this baggage that we've been carrying around and everything, them little quirks that we've been working through. Connect with Michelle. Reach out
yes,
to her. Text her. A text would not hurt. Just to have a conversation with her.
yes,
Sometimes just one conversation will just change the whole trajectory. I'm trying
yes.
to say that big
That's
word
fine. Yes,
of your life. So,
yes,
Michelle, you had two strokes,
yes,
a mini stroke,
yes,
and cancer.
yes.
Yet you look like you never had a sick day in your life. How were you able to recover so fast and look so well?
Well, Kay, what I tell people is I just say this, but God,
Yes.
but God. What you all see is the covering of God over me. See, God is my savior. I don't have any shame about it. I put it on. Look, I got my cross on. And the thing is that He has done so much for me. He has helped me through so many experiences, some that were slight and some that were might, but none of them were mightier than Him. And so I attribute it to God. He's the one who's carried me through.
Amen.
As a matter of fact, I like to tell this anecdote. Now, I don't know if people have heard this before, but sometimes people will ask me, well, okay, if God is all good, whatever, then how come He allows you to go through these things?
Mm.
And what I say to them is, there were footprints in the sand. So there was God and there was a man, and they were walking down the the beach. And when the storm got going and things got rough and tough, it went from two sets of footprints to only one set. And then when it was all said and done, the man asked God, he said, God, how could you forsake me? How could you leave me? When things got so rough and tough, you were gone. How could you do that to me? And God said to him calmly, my son, when things got rough and tough, I
Mhm.
didn't leave you. I didn't forsake you. It went from two sets of footprints to only one because that's when I carried
Mm. Glory, glory. You
you.
know,
And God
we
has carried me. He's kept me.
and I can tell because,
Mhm.
like I said, unless you tell a person what you've been through, person would never know that you've been
Yes.
through. Because when you think of somebody had a stroke, there's some
Mhm.
part of their body that died.
Yes.
That's non-functional. But
Yes.
with you, you're live, you're vibrant, you're moving, grooving, all that, and so that's a testimony of God's goodness. Because I know it's somebody out there that's probably been dealing with something long
Yes.
term, been asking God to heal them. God
Mhm.
maybe even have spoken to you and said, I'm gonna heal you, but it hasn't manifested yet.
Yes.
This is your encouragement to keep holding on and to keep trusting that God is going to heal you. God had not only a miracle for Michelle, but God
Yes.
has a miracle for Tamika that's out there watching,
That's right.
Sheila's that's out there watching,
Yes.
whoever that's out there watching. God
Got others
has
that's
a
out there
miracle.
watching. I had to
Yes.
get that girl out there.
God has a miracle for you. And
Yes.
this is, God wanted you to hear this testimony
Yes.
so that you can get your faith level back up. Just keep walking by faith. I'd
Yes.
rather die in faith than
Yes.
keep living without faith, that I just let it drop and say, well, it's going to be whatever it's going to be. This is it. I'd rather believe to the day I die that God is going to heal me than to
Yes.
stand in front of God and say, I dropped it. And, like the video be like 3.0 seconds of the video. I dropped it at 4.6 seconds of the video of my life.
Yes. And
So,
can I add something real
uh-huh.
quick, okay?
Yes, please.
So here's the test, y'all. Because you talked about how some people, when they have strokes, that they, debilitated. I could not talk.
Hmm.
I could not talk. I couldn't utter one word when I had my second stroke. They were 2 days apart. And my whole right side, I couldn't use it at all. I'm moving with my right hand now. I couldn't use my whole right side, my arm or my leg. It was so cold to touch because I put my hand, my left hand and my left foot over that side because I was trying to keep it warm, but I couldn't speak one word. And when I was rushed to the hospital, my sister and I got separated because she followed behind the ambulance. And of course, they went in through a different section. And I remember trying to ask a nurse, "Where's my sister?" And all I could say was, I couldn't even talk. Less than 24 hours, God healed me up, made me new. I didn't have to go through any rehab, therapy, nothing. He made me new. He washed it all away. But God.
But God, but God. Mm. You gave me chills. You gave me chills. Not 24 days or 24 weeks, a
20,
month,
no. Mm-mm.
24 hours.
It don't take God all day to do nothing, y'all. All you have to do is believe.
Amen. Amen. I agree with you. That's all you got to do is just believe
That's
and just keep on believing. Don't drop it. But people have
Drop
you
it.
drop something. They be like, oh, I know you want it this way, but why don't you do this? And that's why it takes us so long to get what we want from God sometimes. Because we be like, okay, I'm focused that I want a red dress. But then somebody take, girl, just get a white dress. You waiting on that red dress, just get a white one. What's the difference? Throw on a red scarf. And so you drop your faith for that red dress and go and get that white, not knowing tucked in that pocket of that red dress was $1 million. You just had to, believe God for it. But you know what I'm saying? We got to stop allowing people to allow us to drop our faith.
Yes,
So that is just awesome. So, like you said, you help people deal with their BS, their belief
yes,
system. Can
yes,
you share some tips to help people deal with trauma and to restore their belief system, and also
yes.
repeat again that offer that you gave them?
Yeah, absolutely. And so, let me first answer the question and I'll go into the offer. And so the first tip I would say is be you. YOU, be you. That's because belief is actually an acronym, and you'll get that in the class. And so, be you is the first tenet. And what we help people to do is to rediscover themselves. Because the thing is, Kay, when someone has gone through any kind of experience that is life threatening or traumatic or takes them off their square, we lose who we are.
Yes.
We can forget who we are and whose we are. And so we want to help you to get back to being you. And you may say, well, child, I ain't trying to be back to where I was. We're talking about the new you. So first you have to rediscover yourself. And then we're going to help to lift you up because that's what we do with Lift Life Coaching Solutions. And so that would be the first thing I would say to do. So just take a moment, take a pause, and think about who you were before the trauma hit, who you were before the storm hit, and really think about that person. You may want to write it down. You may want to journal it. You may want to speak it into your phone because everybody's not into writing. You may want to do a vlog, but get back to who you were, back to square one, so you can rebuild yourself and renew yourself and lift yourself. And that's what we do with our program, with helping people with our belief restructuring system. And with that, again, it is a 6-week course. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you all the price because you're not gonna believe it. You're gonna be like, man, I thought it was gonna be way more than that. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you all the price. Now, normally it is $349, 300 only $349. We're talking about 6 weeks of restructuring your belief system. But if you text me at 586-298-2121 today only, go ahead and say, oh, no, the repeat folks, I love a replay because sometimes we listen to something over and over and over again. So, we'll let it go for the replay as well. But if you text me 586-298-2121, only 297. That is it. Total of $297 for 6 weeks of restructuring your belief system.
That's awesome. I'm doing the math. I'm not a math person, but I got this. It's less than $50 a week. Am I right?
That's it.
Less
That's it.
than
You got it.
$50
That's
a week
that's it.
investment into changing your belief system. And
That
it
is awesome.
doesn't mean a religion. It's talking about what you
No,
believe about yourself, what you
exactly.
believe about life. Less than $50 a week. You can't
That's it.
beat that, y'all. Y'all really can't. Wow, thank you, Michelle. That is so awesome. So, before we go,
Yes.
this is what I want to do for my people that's out there. So, I want to give away this Ruby Girl tumbler. Once again, it's got phenomenal, beautiful, fabulous, and grateful on it. So, I want to give somebody that's watching this the Ruby Girl tumbler. But what you got to do is go on Michelle's website. And the first thing that pop, it's a pop up. So I want you to put in the chat. The first person I see that put in the chat what the pop-up is, they win the Ruby Girl tumbler. Hey, hey, hey. So if you're looking for her website, you can look at the top of this video. It has her website, and plus she's going to give it to you. So get ready, get your pen out. Go ahead, Michelle.
Yep, the website is www.liftlifecoachingsolutions.com. That's lift, Lift, life, Life, coaching solutions with an S.com.
Great, great, great. So let's look at the comments and see what's been going on, girl. So let me see. Katrina said hello.
Hey, hey.
Tamika said hello. We know Tamika. Tamika and Katrina spoke with me during the tour.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
Sheila said, "Praise God for your son. Praise God for that miracle of your son,
Yes,
girl."
yes,
Let
yes.
me see.
Thank
What?
you.
Oh, Michelle Renee broke down Ruby Girl. She said, "Radiant, unique, beautiful, young at heart." Oh, Blair Cherie got it. She said a paperback book for 14.99.
That's right.
All right, Blair Cherie.
Yep. And the paperback book is Hush.
Hush.
Breaking
Don't
the
nobody say
sanctions
a
around.
word.
Okay.
Hush. Let me see who else got it. Let's see who else went to your website. Michelle Renee went. Yes. Deborah Hardison said, great conversation. Ty Jackson said, Blair Cherie, you beat me to the punch. Don't fight, ladies. So thank you all for your comments. Let me see, make sure I didn't miss any comments. But yes, a book offer for 14.99. So
Yeah,
what I'm
and
going to do,
they'll get a signed copy. So if you go to my website, you'll actually get a signed copy from me to you.
oh, so what I'm going to do for, let me look out here again in the
Yeah.
comments. Let me see. So I'm going to do this for Michelle Renee. Yes, I'm
Okay.
going to order your book.
Oh,
And I want you to send it to her. So
yes.
Michelle Renee, you
Is that
want a
Michelle with one L?
nope, Michelle got two L's.
That's okay. Still
She
got love for
double.
you. Double
So right, double the pleasure. So Michelle Renee, you have won a free book Hush. And Michelle Renee, she has an awesome testimony too.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
my God. I really need y'all Michelle's be popping. I'm telling y'all. But she has an awesome testimony of how God helped her survive something that she tried in her life and God did not allow it to happen. So her story is just awesome. So that's what I'm gonna do. Blair Cherie won a free tumbler. Yay! And Michelle Renee get a free hush book. So I am so excited. We're being a blessing to those that are watching us. So, Michelle, do you
Yes.
have anything to say before I close out for tonight? And they're
Yes.
still commenting too.
Absolutely. I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much, Kay, for having me on. I'm just so elated and excited that I'm able to share my story. And I definitely am looking forward to helping other women heal because that's why I started Lift Life Coaching Solutions. It's because I wanted to be that beacon of light for others so that way they can shine as well. So thank you so much again for having me. And for you all out there, again, my name is Michele D Clark with Lift Life Coaching Solutions, where we are living inspired, free, and transformed. Thank you so much.
Yes. So give them your number again.
Yes. Yep. It is 586 298 2121.
Okay. And if you want to go through her 6 week program and get that discounted price, just text her Ruby Girl. I know y'all can spell that. I know y'all can. I'll give y'all a hint. So, all right, Michelle, thank you so much for being on the Ruby Girl Talk tonight.
Thank
I
you.
just want to close it out and say, I am so inspired by her story. Can you imagine not being able to talk and look how fluent she flows? I mean, you take words, you need to be a rapper, you need to be something, Michelle, because you take words and you just make them sound so beautiful. You are a natural flow. So, for everybody that's out there, I thank you for watching tonight. I got more guests coming from the Leadership Experience Tour. When I tell you, Sean Fair Leadership Experience Tour is the most awesome, isn't it, Michelle?
Yes, it is.
Experience of your life. It is
Absolutely.
life changing. And so, if you want to connect with Sean, it's Sean SHAWN Fair, as in State Fair. He says that himself. So just connect with him on Facebook and just inbox him. He'll give you the opportunity to speak on an international stage. So I just want y'all to know that Ruby Girl is a reset of your mindset. Just like with Michelle, she had to reset her mindset from the abuse she went through, from the ailments she went through, and she has reset it to victory. And you can do the same thing too. So just remember, every Thursday is Ruby Girl Day, and this is what I need you to do: wear your T-shirt, bling it out, make it look really, really nice. Because I'm telling you, the contest is coming, Michelle, where I'm gonna pick the Ruby Girl of 2021, and
Woo
she's gonna
woo.
get this big Ruby Girl bag. Ty Jackson is working on it. Oh yeah, Ty Jackson. I always get her name mixed up with my other friend. She's working on creating me a Ruby Girl bag. And in it, I'm going to be putting stuff. And on Thursdays, once I get the bag, I'm going to show y'all every time I put something in there, it's going to be every Thursday. So drop a selfie and do the hashtag Ruby Girl Day and tag me. Please tag me, because I'm telling y'all, I'm looking for that Ruby Girl of 2021. She got to be outstanding. She got to be fashionable. She got to know how to work this Ruby Girl t-shirt. You hear me? So every Thursday is Ruby Girl Day. Every Tuesday is the Ruby Girl Talk at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thank you all. Have a great night. Michelle, I thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Thank you. Because
Thank you
she
so much.
volunteered. She was like, hey, I want to be next, and you are next. So I just wish you the most success. I thank you for
Thank you.
lifting up everyone that God lifted you up. And so now you lifting others up. So I wish blessings on your business. You are a coach. She is an author. Y'all connect with this phenomenal lady. Go on Facebook right
And a
now.
speaker.
You Yes, and she's is a speaker. What am I? How can I forget that? That's the number one. So connect with her on Facebook right now. Type in her name once the show is over and just connect with her. She'll friend you. So, all right, have a great evening. I see you next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. All right, thank you, Michelle. You have a
Thank you
wonderful,
so much. You
wonderful
too.
day. All right, bye-bye.